People, no matter their religious background, tend to have some idea of the Christian views on Satan. If I ask people on the street, they might say Satan is a fallen angel, or Satan was the snake in the Garden of Eden. Satan tempted Jesus, and maybe Satan caused evil. But if I asked them the same thing about Satan in Islam, well, people would have a harder time. This video will take a quick look at an Islamic view on Satan and a really interesting theory to why Satan exists. Satan, called Iblis, is mentioned in the Quranic narrative about the creation of humanity. Iblis is generally considered by etymologists to be a condensed version of the Greek word diablos, or devil. Unlike Satan in Christianity, Iblis is not an angel, but he is an angelic being known as a jinn, a creature which appears in Arabic literature and religions long before the Prophet Muhammad, and a creature which became known as a genie in the Western world. In both the Bible and the Quran, man is made out of clay by God. But in the Quran, angels are crafted from light and the jinn are made out of fire. In the Quran, during the creation account, after God completed the creation of everything else, he announced that he would create a Khalifa, or a vice-regnant, on earth. So God created Adam and gave him special knowledge that no other creature possessed. Teaching him the names of every creation, God also presented the creatures to the angels, knowing that they would fail where Adam succeeded. After this, God ordered his angels to bow down in obedience before Adam, but Iblis refused, claiming he was nobler than Adam, saying that he was created of fire, while man was created only of clay. For showing this pride and disobedience, God threw Iblis out of heaven. Since this time, pride and envy became a major sign of unbelief in Islam, and thereafter Iblis was condemned to hell. But God granted him a request and allowed him to attempt to lead humanity astray, knowing that the righteous would resist Iblis and his attempts to misguide them. His punishment was postponed until Judgment Day, when Iblis and his allies will have to face eternal fires of hell. Until that time, he is allowed to tempt all but true believers to evil, and his first demonic act, Iblis entered the Garden of Eden and tempted Eve to eat of the tree of immortality, causing both Adam and Eve to forfeit their paradise. Some Sufi Muslims hold a view of Iblis which emphasizes his love for Allah as the motivation for his decision not to bow to Adam. Sufi teachers present the story of Iblis as a predestined scenario which Iblis plays the role of a tragic and jealous lover of Allah who, because he was unable to see the divine image in Adam, was compelled to disobey God's command to bow down to him. And this leads me to an interesting theory I mentioned at the start of the video. You see, some philosophers and mystics emphasize Iblis himself as a role model of confidence in God, saying that when God ordered the angels to prostrate themselves, Iblis was forced to choose between God's command and God's will, which was not to praise something else other than God. He may have successfully passed the test, yet his disobedience caused punishment and therefore suffering. However, he stays patient and will be rewarded in the end. This is interesting as an explanation and as motivation, especially because Iblis had full knowledge of the nature of God. But it does make his punishment seem unfair, and it's not quite clear from the Quranic narrative, so most Muslims don't believe this. But in summary, Iblis likely comes from the Greek word diablos for devil. Iblis is a jinn, a being made from fire. Iblis refused to bow to Adam, and God is going to punish him, but has allowed him to tempt man before Judgment Day. I hope this video has answered some questions and hopefully made you more curious and look into the subject a bit more. It's that time again when we answer questions from viewers on YouTube and on Patreon. As always, if you want to support the show, then please head on over to Patreon using the link in the description. Today our question is from Jinjin, and Jinjin asks, "What is your accent? I can tell it's from the British Isles, but what area exactly?" I could get in trouble for saying that where I'm from is a British Isle, but where I'm from is actually the island of Ireland, which to some people is British Isles, some people is not. And where exactly I'm from is I'm from Ireland, but it's actually Northern Ireland, Northern Ireland. I'm from a border region, so because of that, my accent can be a little bit complicated and a little bit strange to some people. It's got some of the lilts, the up and down of the Irish accent, but also some of the kind of, let's face it, more nasally noise of the Northern Irish people. So thank you for your question, Jinjin. And with that, I just want to wish you all guys a Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas. This will probably be the last video for the year. So hopefully I will see you again in 2019. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, then please subscribe, share on social media, and of course, as always, support the show in whatever way you want. Thank you for watching.